I have traveled to the border of Ukraine, to Poland, to Moldova, to the entire region, gathering information, doing oversight, seeing what the situation is on the ground, the heartbreaking refugees that are trying to get out of the country and find a place temporarily to go. I have been uplifted, as so many Americans have and people across the world, by the strength and resiliency of the Ukrainians. They don't want us to fight their war. They just want us to provide them with the military and the weaponry and the military capacity to fight their own war. This is a free and sovereign nation. And this communist dictator, Putin, has come in, I believe, because he also saw American weakness, starting with our pullout in Afghanistan.
Is he really a communist, though?
He's
definitely an autocrat. I think he was a communist back when he was in the KGB.
He's a KGB agent, okay?
Once a
KGB agent, always a KGB agent.
Continue.
My son would say, once an Army Ranger, always an Army Ranger. But he is evil, and he has committed just a tyrant who has committed war crimes that he will be held accountable for. So I believe that it's our job to provide Ukraine with the weaponry to defeat Putin in Ukraine. He must be stopped there, because what I don't want to see is Article 5 triggered and to see Putin creep, because he won't end with Ukraine if he's not stopped, move into an Article 5 country. This is again a NATO country that we have an agreement with that would require American boots on the ground fighting that war. I don't want our sons and daughters boots on the ground. I don't want them fighting. I want the Ukrainians to defeat him with our support, that of NATO and the rest of the world, in Ukraine. There has been talk recently, and I think you have another follow-on to that.
There has been reports about Kevin McCarthy, who will become Speaker of the House if Republicans take over, saying, we don't want to give Ukraine any more money. We have other issues that we have to deal with. Is that a mistake, given that Ukraine is about to retake Kherson and they have a lot of momentum right now?
Well, I've spoken with the leader, and I've spoken with our own leadership, and I think that his comments are being taken a bit out of context. What he really wants is, and I agree with wholeheartedly, is to see the proper oversight out there. He wants transparency. And I am quite worried about our own readiness capabilities here in the United States of America. So what has happened under the Democrat leadership is there have not been any hearings about the money that we've appropriated from a military or humanitarian standpoint to Ukraine. We don't know how much is left. We don't know what specifically has gone towards military. We don't know how much of it has gone to backfill our U.S. military readiness power. So I agree. This isn't going to be a blank check anymore, and that's what he said. Not a blank check, and it won't be. There's got to be oversight. There's got to be transparency. We have to worry about our own readiness, and you know what else? We have to make sure that our other partners in Europe, and they have come together, and in NATO, I mean, who would have ever thought that Sweden and Finland would ever join NATO?
And I understand that is a controversy too. Like, there's been a lot of criticism of Germany that they haven't done enough because they are so dependent on Russian natural gas and energy. So,
and if we were supplying them from the U.S., they wouldn't be so dependent.
I get what you're saying on that, and actually, there's some bipartisan agreement that that's not enough.